All right, good evening. I'm going to call the meeting to order at 7:03 and would love to invite you to join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Our next item is the approval of minutes from the meeting on August 26, 2025 as presented. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. I have Mr. Buster and Mrs. Tippett. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Not seeing any, the motion carries. We'll move on to general functions. Our first item is staff, student, and community recognitions. Mr. Crew.
Thank you, President Pratt, members of the board. We have a few staff recognitions, but first we'll start with special announcements with Miss Peggy Bedson-Runyon and Chef Steph.
All our talented chefs. Okay. Good evening, President Pratt, members of the board, and Superintendent Kruth. On August 23rd, we held our 4th annual Junior Master Chef Cooking Competition at Micah Mountain. I would like to take a moment to highlight some of the amazing Vail students, or should I say future awesome chefs, as well as the collaboration between our school wellness coordinators, Aramark, Amy Della O, and Micah's culinary students, community programs Chris Harms, board member Chris King, executive chef CJ Ham, Robert with Ignite, and Wesley with the Tucson Tasty Show. Also, a special thanks to Art with Expert Restaurant Supply, Mandy Demerit with Rincon Health, and Karen Foley with Galaxy Theaters. Out of our goal to continue to improve and highlight wellness in our community, this group pulled off yet another top-notch chef cooking competition. 17 students competed in this year's competition, and the courage, professionalism, and culinary skills of these students was just amazing. One of our lead wellness coordinators, Trina Lakin, will speak more about the heart behind this event.
Good evening, President Pratt, members of the board, and Superintendent Caruth. It has been an incredible honor and a privilege to serve my school, district, and community in the Wellness Coalition. I would like to echo that the growing success of the Junior Chef Competition came with an additional growth of support from members of our community, our district's Wellness Coalition, which is composed of wellness coordinators from each school site, and members of the board. What began as a simple idea has grown into a vibrant tradition, and we are elated to have completed our 4th successful event. Beyond the delicious dishes and friendly rivalry, there is something more profound: the lasting life skills our students are learning and the positive impact that this competition is having on our community. When you watch these students in the heat of the competition, you're not just seeing them chop vegetables or whisk a sauce, you're witnessing creativity and resilience in action. All of our students, 1st through 12th grade, were caught problem solving on the fly, whether it was unfamiliarity with the kitchen tools or time management to modify as they realized the clock was ticking down to the wire, all while building a stronger foundation of knowledge about nutrition and healthy eating. Ultimately, this competition is a testament to our district's commitment to innovative, engaging, and holistic education. It showcases the incredible talent and collaborative spirits of our students and the dedication of our educators. This is a shining example of the amazing things happening in our district, and we believe it's a program that makes everyone proud. Thank you again for your time and support. We are excited about the future of this competition and the many students we will continue to empower. I would like to introduce Paige Smith, who will discuss more of this year's competition.
Good evening, President Pratt, members of the board, and Superintendent Caruth. As a proud Vail community member, it's an honor to be a part of this tradition every year and be able to help year after year brainstorm with community programs and continue to grow the Junior Chef competition. We believe that every child deserves to have a chance to compete in this amazing tradition now for 4 years with no financial burden. Our Airmark team and the help of Executive Chef Stephanie purchased and organized the individual bags for each of the students and created their dishes to prepare. While the students were not competing and waiting to wow us with their culinary creations, we also offered an in-depth tour of the kitchen. The younger contestants' favorite part is always seeing the big freezer and getting to feel the brisk negative temperatures. And then with that, I will let Stephanie introduce our winners.
All right. Good evening, President Pratt, members of the board, and Superintendent Caruth. I, Chef Stephanie, am honored to judge this year and could not wait to see what the competition brings in year 5. In fact, we were so impressed with the caliber of recipes stemming from this competition that we featured tonight, or that we featured your last board menu and in the cafe. We've been showcasing some of the winners' dishes. We had the chili, we've had the pumpkin yogurt dip, the salad. We've had some really, really great dishes out there, and I'm going to try to continue to get as many of those out into the district as humanly possible. After I highlight the winners, they will be doing a joy drop and handing each of you a copy of this year's recipe book. So without further ado, we have our elementary school winners. First place, Morgan Maggard of Esmond Station with her savory pumpkin yogurt dip. Second place was Bryce Bartleman from Esmond Station for his fall salad with pumpkin maple dressing. Third place was Maddie Grooms from Cottonwood with her pumpkin power bites. Our middle school winners, first place was Elijah Andre from Corona Foothills with his pumpkin infused chicken parmesan. Second place was Adrian Corrales of Desert Sky. He did the Fall For Me pumpkin chili. Third place, Isaac Young, Desert Sky, pumpkin creme brulee. And our high school winners are Juliana Short, Mike Mountain for her savory pumpkin muffins. Second place was Gina Turner from Empire, and she had Gina's Sunnyside pumpkin grits. Third place was Emma Shipley of Micah Mountain with her toasted pumpkin gnocchi with Brussels sprouts and bacon. And one last special goes out to the Micah Mountain culinary students that supported their younger peers throughout the competition, and to our contestants who gave their all. We'll see you in the kitchen next year. All right.
You're fine. Good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'd love to get a picture with the students as well, if that's okay. Great job, you guys. Congratulations.
Anytime. Thank you, parents, for bringing your children out tonight. It's great. It's great to be able to honor them.
I want to pop.
We haven't had a special announcement in a while, so I'm off my rhythm. We have a few other, sorry about that. We do have a few other staff here as well. First up is Miss Margaret Stewart, followed by Miss Heather Stout.
Good evening. Thank you, Mr. Caruth, President Pratt, and members of the board. Well, first of all, Elijah, he's mine. I'm going to give him my lunch order. I wanted to recognize a couple of people and thank them. First of all, I have another student. Her name is Blake Blair. And Blake had a lemonade stand in the neighborhood over the weekend and raised money. And the money they raised went solely to pay for students who didn't have lunch money. So they raised, I think, $150, and they gave half of it to Sycamore and half of it to Corona, and was out in that hot sun doing that. And I mean, that's just a statement of who our kids are. And then I wanted to recognize our admin team, Brett Batty, Kara Evans, and Breanne Brace, and all the support they provide for our students, our staff, and our community. They're really amazing people, and they just make everybody shine. And then I also wanted to recognize some people from the district office. I wanted to recognize Brandy Deweymick. I don't think I've ever seen Brandy in a bad mood. She's always got a smile on her face. She's always happy to help you. She always answers the phone. No matter what you're struggling with, she's there to lend a hand. And I just really appreciate that. And then I wanted to recognize Megan Cloud, who is an exact copy of Brandy Deweymick, always in a good mood, always calling you back. Could be 8 o'clock at night or a Saturday morning. I would actually like to name our gym after her when she retires. She's so awesome. And then I just wanted to thank the board and the district for their development of the GAL program. It's meant a lot. My son went through from preschool to high school and was one of the first members of the, I don't remember what they called it then, it was the honors program at Empire when Christine and Alvin started it brand new. And we've really grown since the days when I remember ELP was sort of like going and playing chess and things like that, to really these people servicing not just the kids who are identified as gifted students, but all students. And so I wanted to recognize Mary Garcia and Christine and Album for all the work they do to not just lift the kids who are in the 97th percentile, but to make sure that good, strong instruction is in every classroom. And then I want to recognize Mary Ann Steer, a gift that I also thank you for, who is our gifted and advanced learning teacher, is doing 6 sections of honors language arts, 2 in 6th grade, 7th grade, and 8th grade, and just works with everybody to bring everyone's instruction up. In fact, she's presenting at the BT conference, and the name of her presentation is Anything But a Worksheet, and I love that. And so thank you for all of those resources. And I want to recognize all those people for what they do for our school. I see the State Department, but that is because of the efforts of all of these people. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mrs. Stewart. Mrs. Stout.
Good evening, President Pratt, Mr. Kruth, members of the board. It was wonderful to reflect on this quarter and share and just think about all the people that I'm grateful for, both within the district and then within the community. Every quarter, each of the folks on my team choose one person that they support to recognize. So I just want to share those first. Jill Wells recognized Christy Hill from Desert Sky Middle School. Christy is the student service coordinator at Desert Sky, and she is a true rock star. She builds authentic relationships with kids, and she really uses just her dedication. She has the best sense of humor and forward thinking that just make Desert Sky and Vail School District a better place. Amanda Cook recognized Michelle Wilkins. She's a counselor at Copper Ridge. And Michelle just shines as the champion of collaboration. She just brings fresh approaches to skills groups, ensuring everyone feels valued and included. And Peggy Benson-Runyon recognized Teresa Taylor from Vail Academy. She's their volunteer coordinator, and she just has a true gift for building strong connections with volunteers. And she just makes those connections with families and is helping to continue to build that community at Vail Academy. Carrie Bausfield is the wellness coordinator at Esmond Station, and Peggy Benson-Runyon chose her to highlight this quarter. Carrie Bausfield was asked to mentor a new wellness coordinator this quarter, and she just immediately stepped up, and her guidance based on her own recent experiences being new last year just really helped to launch a mentor program for wellness coordinators across the district. And then Emily Sapala actually recognized Peggy Benson Runyon. She shared that Peggy truly lives out our belief that relationships are at the heart of what we do. We had, during an administrative assistant transition this summer, Peggy just stepped up without any hesitation and took on all the extra responsibilities until we could fulfill that role. She just has a truly all-in attitude, as we all know. And speaking of our new admin assistant, I'd like to recognize Marie Nguyen, who has fulfilled that role, and she is just a joy to have on our team. She's quickly built intentional connections around the district office. I feel like every time I go out there, she's having a conversation with someone and is just willing to help and lift wherever she needs to. And she just has just such a positive energy, and we're honored to have her on our team. And then I just wanted to also recognize Jill Wells and Peggy Benson Runyon for their work on Bill Family Connections, along with the entire committee. It is coming up this Saturday, September 13th. We'd love to have you there. It's at Micah Mountain from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. I'd also like to thank Oasis, Ville Christian Church, Pantana Christian Church, and Living Branch Church, amongst many other nonprofits and faith community members who are leaning in to make Saturday happen. I'd also like to recognize the McKinney-Vento liaison team, which is comprised of Teresa Hassey, Chelsea Morin, Tiffany Midkiff, and Lisa Purcell, led by Jill Wells, and they've just really demonstrated a remarkable dedication this year. Their tireless work has ensured that 155 children and youth have already been identified for those vital services addressing homelessness and providing that critical support to our most vulnerable families. I'd like to recognize Rincon Valley Optimist Club. They held a shoe event at Skechers on August 23rd, and they provided 99 children from Vail a pair of brand new shoes. They got to walk in with their family and choose any pair of shoes that they wanted. And for many of the kids, it was their first pair of new shoes. We had one of the boys that is supported by our McKinney-Vento supports, and he plays soccer and got to buy his first new pair of cleats. So just a great support and partnership. I'd also like to recognize Aaron Hardy from Ville Christian Church, who led efforts in coordinating a remarkable school supply drive at the beginning of the year. It literally went on for months, and we ended up being able to stuff 650 backpacks that we were able to distribute across the district, and over 20 nonprofits, businesses, and churches joined together to make that effort possible. I'd like to recognize our counselors, social workers, and principals who continue to lead the way in meeting school safety grant requirements, which funds 16 counselors across the district, and Amanda Cook is at the helm of that. They just play an integral role in making sure that those positions stay funded as they just become essential on our campuses. And lastly, I'd like to recognize Emily Sapala, who is taking over the role with Ville Pride Day nominations. She and Elaine Murphy have been instrumental in coordinating the Ville Pride Day nominations, and the link actually opens on Friday for both staff and Volunteer of the Year nominations, and will close on October 31st. Emily and Elaine's efforts help celebrate those who make a meaningful difference in the lives of our students, staff, families, and community. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Stowe. So I have a couple of other quick recognitions. First, I'd like to acknowledge and recognize Aaron Schmidt, who was recently elected to the Arizona School Administrators Division President for the newly created Career and Technical Ed Division at the state-wide level. So he'll be leading that division. The ASA created the division in recognition of the need to have stronger coordination across the state regarding CTE programs. So Aaron stepped forward and was elected president. So that's just good stuff. And I'd just like to take a moment to thank our board, all 5 of you, for taking the time to attend the ASBA Law Conference. For many of you, that was at least a 2-day event, and for some, it was a 4-day event. The Law Conference 1 is just a critical time to be up to date on topical issues around school law. So thank you for investing in that critical role. And then also, aside from that, just investing in each other and the relationships that happen here. So it's those very important yet simple things that make a huge difference and set the tone for the rest of us to follow. So thank you for doing that. That's all we have for staff, student, and community recognitions this season.
Yeah. Our next items are call to the public and acknowledgement of public requests to speak. At this time, I do not have any requests from the public to speak to the board tonight. Is there anybody here wishing to speak to the board? Not seeing any, then we'll move on to correspondence and reports. Our first item is the superintendent's report. Mr. Crew?
No report this evening.
Our next item are board reports. Are there any board members wishing to make a report? Yes?
Sure. Sure, I will go. Really enjoyed being at the long conference with my fellow board members and administrators. And it's nice to have Katie Evans join us and get the opportunity to get to know her and her role. Thank you, Chris. In her role as deputy superintendent these days. So, and really appreciate ASBA's effort at making the law conference super valuable and like timely, critical learning for board members. Came away with a great understanding of things that have changed over in just the past year and some in just the past few months. So love that opportunity and thanks for being good people. That's my report.
Thank you, Ms. Splits. Are there other board members? Mr. King? Mr.
Sure, I'll jump in. So like over the last 2 weeks, I attended the ASBA Law Conference where we learned about some recent Supreme Court decisions as well as Court of Appeals decisions. Hearing great speakers discuss various constitutional rights issues affecting education. Additionally, this past Saturday, we chaired the delegate assembly for the Arizona School Boards Association, where we ratified the legislative priorities for the Arizona for ASBA for the 25-26 school year. So, and we did it in record time. We were finished before 11 o'clock. Normally that's a 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon thing, but we were done before 11. So that was excellent. Also, a few of us attended the site visits at Esmond Station K8 yesterday and Empire High School, where we saw some innovating teaching for early literacy and received a good book, Why Not, which finished that like yesterday. So he had to. We got that from Principal Kitzmiller, so that was greatly appreciated. From there, we jumped over to Empire High School, where we got to see some of the amazing CTE programs. We got to see Miss Anderson's, program of theater and drama and everything else. And that was actually kind of cool to see over there. And, kind of get to visit some of the classes that kids can take for college credit. So, and seeing some of the new stuff that they're doing over there. Additionally, earlier today, shot a commercial for Vail Family Connections Day. This Saturday at Micah Mountain, gates open at 8:30. Free breakfast for the first 400, right? Excellent. Program begins at 9. Come out and make connections with others in the community. That'll be a great time. Lastly, September is Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. If you or a friend or a loved one are considering harming yourself, please call 988 and get help. That's all I have for this week.
Mr. King? Mr. Buster, you have a board report?
Yes, I do. I did have the opportunity to attend a webinar, the ASA's capital funding litigation piece, and it was really well done that common people can understand exactly the current capacity as well as the direction of the state of Arizona. So I thought it was just really spot on with legal informing people at a grassroots level on exactly what the expected outcomes will be now and long into the future. Beyond that, just piggybacking off of the opportunity to spend some time with not only the board, but again, boards and superintendents across Arizona. Phenomenal opportunity to go ahead and see how the application of law is being rendered throughout the state of Arizona and how we can connect together to make sure that we are doing the best things for students each and every day, as well as our phenomenal staff and educators. Really great opportunities, excellent webinars, excellent the dialogues that started from dark 30 in the morning all the way through the evening, and getting the opportunity to break bread with some significant leadership across the state was really, really excellent. And then, of course, I had the opportunity to attend the caucuses and alliances for ASBA. And there's some synergies that we're bringing together so that we can be more effective and more efficient across the spectrum for all students throughout schools in Arizona. Last but certainly not least, having the opportunity to attend the Esmond Station as well as Empire schools and seeing dynamic leadership in our schools in action. And then, of course, going around from classroom to classroom, seeing the programs implemented at that level. And it just warms the heart to see an educator educating, but seeing a student and the light bulb just rise above their head and they get the smile, I know the answer, and seeing them in harmony, working together, that groupthink at that level is really, really amazing. So I definitely appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Metzger. I think everything's really been mentioned. I did just want to add just one thing. I was able to go with you did with Mr. Buster to Corona Foothills Middle School for the first connection crew to celebrate their front office person. And it was so great to be able to come in there and to be able to read her some of the things that her coworkers and colleagues have written about her, and just to be able to recognize her. It's a great school and a great community. I also really appreciated the opportunity to go to the law conference. It's an opportunity to understand relevant laws and to be able to be a better board member. I also just want to say thank you to Principal Donaldson and also Kitzmiller for the great tour of Esmond and Empire. My kids went through all of their years at Esmond, and then I have a current student at Empire and two who have graduated, and still I learned lots of stuff. So I was really grateful to go on those. And then I just want to give a warm welcome to our Boy Scout who's visiting today. We're happy to have you. So thank you for being here. We will move on now to the consent agenda. All items listed below are consent matters and will be considered by one motion at this time. There'll be no discussion of consent items. Any board member may remove an item from the consent agenda by request. All items not accepted and approved as part of the consent agenda will be considered individually. Are there any board members who wish to? Okay, Mr. Booth.
Thank you, President Pratt. Members of the board, it's recommended that the Vail School District Governing Board approve all items on the consent agenda as presented.
I'll accept a motion.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Thank you, Mr. King.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Buster. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Not seeing any, the motion carries. Thank you. We'll move on to old business. Our first item is the high school literature set. Mr. Booth, it's an action item.
Thank you, President Pratt. Mr. Hurley.
President Pratt, members of the board, Superintendent Kruth. Last time we were here, we explained the process of the high school literature committee and brought the 8 books that our committee has recommended for action. So any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. We had a chance to talk last time.
With that, I'll go ahead and make a recommendation. The Vail School District Governing Board approve the high school literature set as presented.
Thank you. I'll accept a motion.
I make a
Motion to approve as presented.
I'm going to give it to Mr. Buster. Second by Mr. King. Comments or questions? Mr. King?
So I'd like to thank you guys for going through and being extremely diligent and intentional with these books, as well as the selection process and the in-depth description on how the books actually make it up here before they're actually sent out to the classroom to be taught at the front, from the front. So thank you again.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? Mr. Buster?
I know during our former study session, we had the opportunity to review and talk about these. And I know I'm dating myself, that these were classics. These were mandatory reading when I was coming through school. And so having the opportunity to look at these books, each one of them through a different lens, as far as the integrity of not only the writing, but inevitably in a new age. of a little bit more scrutiny on each one of these classic writings, and just having that opportunity to say, does it meet our current form, fit, and function for this age, this generation going forward, and just having a little bit more of a scrutinizing eye, as opposed to when I was in school, you will read it now, you will take these pieces from it. I definitely appreciate us taking that modern approach and not just assuming, which is really, really great. So thank you.
Any other comments? I know this was studied at length, both in our study session and our regular board meeting last 2 weeks ago, last time. If there's no other comments or questions, then I'll call for the vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any
Sorry.
opposed? Sorry. Any opposed? Not seeing any, the motion carries. Thank you. We'll move on to ASBA policy advisories. This first set is 810 to 818, also an action item. Mr. Cruz.
Thank you, President Pratt, members of the board. These were studied at the last meeting as well. As I mentioned, I'll mention again the Arizona School Administrators Group, who makes their legal team looks through the policies, have made revisions, are systematically working through the policy book A through K to update some of the language, I would say modernize the language around the policies, the substantive policies that we've already brought forward that need to be addressed because of changes in the law from last legislative session. What's in front of you, both in this agenda item and the next one, are not associated with that, but are associated with more of the legal language cleanup, including the consolidation of some of the policies into one policy to streamline them. So all of those things require action, board action, to put those policies in place. And just for those who may be listening, one of the primary roles of the governing board is to set policy. And so these are the recommendations that have been brought forward. I've looked at all of them. I've shared also my notes relative to those with you in addition to studying them at our last meeting and this meeting. So happy to go through any of them if you'd like. I'll go ahead and make the recommendation that the Vail School District Governing Board approve ASBA policy advisories 810 to 818 as presented.
You want to motion?
Motion to approve as presented.
Second.
Lester and Mrs. Tippett. Comments or questions? Mr. Lester.
I love the fact that we have discussed and discussed specifically about these, not only in prior meetings of the board, but having the opportunity to take it up to ASBA during the law conference, and of course, stump the attorneys, having those direct dialogues with many attorneys across the state of Arizona, having specific conversations, intentional conversations with school districts across Arizona. It was really nourishing to make sure that we're level set on the right path now and going forward with our policies. And of course, adjoining that to going through our ASBA bylaws. And again, back to that legal, moral, and ethical, that we live by that standard across the spectrum to take care of the district as a whole. So again, having that long depth, that intentional opportunity to speak to many stakeholders and making sure that we are in line with not only now, but now long into the future, that we're doing the right things. We're doing actionable things now and going forward is just, I think, a testament to what we do as a community now and going forward.
Any other comments or questions? No. Again, this was studied last board meeting at length. So if there's no other comments or questions, then I will call for the vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Not seeing any, the motion carries. We will move on to the sister agenda item, ASBA policy advisories 819 to 862. Mr. Booth.
Thank you, President Pratt, members of the board. This policies represented in this bunch are associated with Section B, which has a lot to do with board kind of practice, same language I would apply to this one as I did in my previous statements around the previous agenda item. The majority of this is cleanup language and some consolidation. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have, but I'll go ahead and make the recommendation that the Vail School District Governing Board approve ASBA Policy Advisories 819 to 862 as presented.
Thank you. I'll accept a motion.
Motion to approve as presented.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. King. Comments or questions on this one?
Again, ASBA conference, our prior meetings of, again, discussing and making sure we're in alignment, making sure we're legal, more and ethical going forward is phenomenal. And then, of course, I hate to bring the negative side into it, but at the ASB conference, having those very frank conversations with other school districts, other leaders that have the opportunity to see other organizations outside of the state of Arizona and dealing with other school districts and seeing some of the pitfalls they went down because they did not follow these types of practices really sets us apart. So I'm glad that we make that intentional opportunities to get together, making sure that the district has the right set of policies and circumstances to lead now and long into the future is really excellent.
Any other comments? No. All right, not singing in again. This was studied at length at our last board meeting. So if there's no other comments or questions, then I will call for the vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Not seeing any, the motion carries. We'll move on to new business. Our first item is the educational enrichment programs, also an action item. Mr. Cruz.
Thanks. Thank you, President Pratt, members of the board. Just as a quick reminder, our education enrichment plan process is a part of our incentive pay packet. The intent of the EEP plans are twofold. One is and I think the primary purpose is to provide rich extracurricular activities in general for students, and then for our teachers to be able to come up with creative ways to connect with those students through clubs and other activities, and for them to receive payment for that, which is the second component of that. And the payment has been associated with our budget and planning for that, and is out of the 301 funds that we receive, which are frankly targeted for things just like this. Although most school districts, actually, I don't think of any school district that does an EEP plan process like we do. So it's definitely a unique component to Vail. It requires teachers to submit a plan. That plan is approved by the site principal. It's sent to their site council, and then it's forwarded to a panel, including a board member, a teacher, and another district principal to rate and score it before it is ultimately brought forward to you to be approved. This is round 2. Most of these are done in the summertime or late summer. And then we allow a second round to happen for eligible teachers who are new to us, but that qualify, and also some few other teachers who meet qualification based on certain criteria that are laid out in the incentive pay packet. So with that, there were a total of 331 points that are being recommended, and point values are paid at either $200 per point if you take it in a cash value, or they can use it for tuition payment or purchase of supplies at an increased value of $300 per point. Again, all of those, the budget for that has been accounted for in our the approved budget, and it's largely comprised of 301 funds. So with that, I'll go ahead and make the recommendation to the Vail School District Governing Board approve educational enrichment plans and recommended point values as presented. I would like to note, thank Mrs. Pratt for being the board member who scored round 2. I know all of you score round 1, but she got to go an extra round and scored round 2. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll accept a motion.
I'll move.
Mrs. Tippett,
Second.
and seconded by Mr. King. Comments or questions? Mrs. Tippett.
I had a really fun time reading through all the different kinds of plans. Like so much of our arts and extracurriculars that you would find in a classroom are also represented in clubs, from pet band to art club and acting, and there's a French club in here, and just a lot of variety. Great stuff for our kids to be able to plug into. I appreciate the staff bringing their creativity to our schools and providing enrichment for our students. And really want to thank Allison for leading by example and filling in for round 2 for us. And also the other staff members who participate in round 2 as well. It's a significant chunk of time because there's real fidelity in reading through each plan that comes through, which is a joy and a lot of time. So thank you for that. And I'm happy, Mr. Caruth, that we do something that's very unique here.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Tippett. Any other comments or questions? Mr. Bester.
Sometimes it can be arduous, but when you look at the program and you have the opportunity to speak to other school districts about it, Vail always sets the standard. Vail always sets the way. And I could see not necessarily a jealousy, but a humility in other school districts. Why aren't we doing this? And the intentionality of making sure that educators are talking to students about what their values are, what they want, what they'd like to see. The district as a whole giving educators an opportunity to set those pieces along the path and incentivizing, and then having senior leaders have those critical discussions on how you can do this and how you can set yourself apart in that proposal, and then allowing us to go ahead and review that proposal so that we can make those types of things happen across the spectrum of the district. No one else is doing this, and we do this, and we do it so amazingly well. And then, of course, we're constantly trying to improve upon it. I think that is really that marker that really sets us apart, because we're listening to each one of our stakeholders and we're valuing what they have to offer and seeing what we can do to make things happen. That is really phenomenal.
Thank you, Mr. Bester. I love reading the EEPs that teachers are willing to do and are excited about. I'm grateful that we have educators who are willing to go above and beyond to enrich the lives of these students. Also, I appreciate your kind words, Mr. Caruth and Ms. Tippett. I do also have to acknowledge that I went home from the law conference on Friday night and the 3 of you guys stayed until Saturday. So we all help out in all the ways. So I also want to acknowledge Miss Krista Fields and Ms. Shannon Jelly, who are the other participants on the rating committee. And then, of course, Nicole Witt, who keeps it all together. She did a great job. If there's no other comments or questions, then I will call for the vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Not seeing any, the motion carries. Our last agenda item under new business is RFP 26-006-30, plumbing services. It's also an action item. Mr. Caruth.
Thank you, President Pratt and members of the board. As we continue to add square footage to our school district and acreage to our school district, it's we're up to almost 2 million square feet of space under roof and almost 500 acres to take care of. It sometimes puts a strain on our small but mighty facilities group to maintain all of the things that need to be maintained, including plumbing. So it was the wise decision by our facilities director and our CFO to go out and consider a request for proposal for plumbing service that we can use as on an on-call basis and an as-needed basis to help fill in the gaps when necessary. That solicitation went out through our standard solicitation process and in accordance with the laws and regulations of issuing an RFP. We had one respondent to that, which again kind of requires us to take a look at that one respondent with a finer tooth comb, so to speak, to make sure that they're meeting the qualifications and requirements, and they did. Actually, we know and are familiar with this contractor as well. They did the plumbing. They were the plumbing subcontractor for the Sorrel Creek project as well. So have done great work. So with that, I'll go ahead and make the recommendation that the Vail School District Governing Board award the contract RFP 26-006-30 plumbing services to RG and Sons Plumbing Inc. as a single award as presented.
I'll accept your motion.
I make a motion to accept.
Mr.
Seconded.
Mr. Buster, comments or questions? Mr. Buster.
Mr. Kruth, if you wouldn't mind, as far as we hire this particular RFP, this particular firm to work on our main facilities, how about tiny homes once they're erected? Does the contract cover them, as well as maybe caretaker facilities? Does the contract cover them as well?
And for caretakers, you're meaning the site residents?
Site residents.
Okay. Mr. B.
Thank you, President Pratt and Mr. Buster. What I would say is I think a better way of answering that is we're responsible for the plumbing services on the tiny homes that are district owned and are rented, but not on those that are owned by the occupant. The site residents are owned by that residence is owned by the occupant, so they would take care of that. So whatever is district owned property or things that this contractor would take care of or be eligible to take care of. I think in larger scope, it's just having a contractor allows us, a plumbing contractor allows us to deploy our facilities and maintenance staff where they need to go. It's not they won't do plumbing from now on. They will continue to do plumbing projects. We just have somebody else that can be on call, especially for larger projects that come up. I think larger, more complex projects that come up. I would anticipate that our facility staff will continue to do routine projects, maintenance, general maintenance projects, and those kinds of things. I think this is when we have plumbing's a little bit like air conditioning. When it goes out, you notice. So you want somebody to be able to be on call and be able to handle the scope of the work that is needed. And that's what this RFP is addressing.
Any follow-up questions?
Yes. And again, maybe apples to oranges. I'm always looking for opportunities with the CTE component. Are there opportunities specifically with this contract to have trainings, internships, and maybe public-private partnerships?
Yeah, thank you, President Pratt and Board Member Buster. I don't know that that's not within the scope of the RFP, to be plain. However, we have a relationship with this particular contractor. They're local. They're very well respected. I'm certain that they would welcome partnerships and internships for those that are in the construction trade programs and our CTE programs.
Excellent. Thank you.
Mr. King.
Thank you. Mr. Buster kind of alluded to this a little bit. I said, but I was about to say, this is another plug for our students to consider the trades and various CTE programs offered here in Vail, because these are ones that pay you to go to school. They're not charging you to go to school, and you're walking out of here making almost $200 an hour. I think some attorneys would be quite mad if they continue that they didn't have to pay for that. So.
Great point, Mr. King.
Mhm.
Any other comments or questions? All right, with that, I will call for the vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Not seeing any, the motion carries. Our last item is adjournment, so I would propose that we adjourn at 7:53.
I will move.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Not seeing any, the motion carries. Have a good night. Thank you.